Mo, good morning. Thank you for your company.
Good morning.
How do you feel about this deal? Let's hear it.
Good morning to you both. Well, it's very early stages of trying to get some facts out of what's actually gone on. I mean, the press conference yesterday was quite extraordinary. I mean, we weren't in any doubt that it'd be a bit of a show on Donald Trump's part. But we are still awaiting kind of the finer details. You know, like with everything to do with trade deals, the devil is going to be in the detail. Now, the top line of the trade deal, and if you look at the responses from National Farmers Union, as well as other rural and farming groups, is actually pretty mixed. I'd say it leans positive. You know, the thought of our farmers having access, our beef farmers particularly, having access to a massive market in the United States,
it's great.
Is something that's really exciting. It's a two-way street. I personally don't think there's a huge amount of appetite for US beef in this country, but I do think that there's massive amount of appetite for our beef in the United States. But as I say, the devil's going to be in the detail here. The concern that farmers have, of course, and it's been going on for many, many years, and rightly so, is that we don't want to import food that would otherwise be illegal to produce in this country. Now, the government assuring us that that's not the case. But again, quite how they monitor that, quite how we know exactly what's going on our shelves, and also in restaurants. So one of the things that the Countryside Alliance, along with other groups, are calling for, and have been for years, is much better labelling on the food that we're eating. It's getting a lot better in shops, but when it comes to restaurants, there's just nothing. There's no requirement whatsoever. Some like to market, for example, Argentinian beef or Brazilian beef. They seldom do that with American beef. I wonder why. But look, let's see where this goes. Up front, I'm quite excited about what it holds. I just want to make sure that as we go forward, and as Peter Mandelson has said, we're going to revisit this deal and move it forward. I just hope that British farmers are looked after. And I remain concerned that might not be the case.
Well, it's interesting because Donald Trump, when he was asked about chlorinated meat and stuff like that, he said, well, I think we're all going in the same direction anyway, so that probably won't be a thing, is what he was alluding to, which is a positive thing. I'm wondering what you think of that. Yeah,
no, it is a positive thing. I mean, he referenced Robert Kennedy Jr. And said that he was looking at removing chemicals, that's right, which is interesting, fascinating. That's not something I'd seen before. I hope for the sake of Americans, they do look to do that. You know, we're extremely proud of the produce we have here. We don't pump it full of things. You know, we've got beautifully reared, grass-fed, sustainable beef. And we're extremely proud of that. And obviously, for the sake of the planet, you know, I'd like the US to have that system. But all of this as well, Nana, it only really matters, and the UK only truly benefits from this trade deal, if we have good domestic policy here for our farmers. And let's be totally honest, you know, since this new government has been in charge, the policy has been lacking. In fact, if anything, it's been negative, it's been damaging to farmers. I mean, look at the family farm tax. It's all well and good saying that we can, you know, trade in the United States, but if we haven't got any farms left, what's the point? It's going to be a complete one-way street to the Americans. So let's hope that, you know, domestic policy reflects international ambition, because at the moment, I think that's lacking.
All right,
good point.
Metcalf Fisher, thank you very much. Really good to talk to you. He's the Director of External Affairs at the Countryside Alliance.